One, two, three, five. Stream is running. Test, test. Yep, it's good. Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry for my 2 weeks delay, but really had to do it. Some ATPL exams in this week. Fortunately, everything went well, and I finally got back to streaming. So we need to catch up. Hope everybody is great, feeling good, feeling interested. Get yourself maybe a paper or a note or something where you can write, because I'm pretty sure this flight today is going to be very, very exciting. Well, we are finally flying to Skardu as it was requested about 2 months ago, and so far the weather was not cooperating with us. And yeah, finally we got somewhat of a good window to take a shot at Skardu approach. I've been doing my homework, studying all the charts, all the information that I could gather about this incredible destination. All the scenery I got ready, our plane, liveries, all that stuff. I even made some custom charts, which I will be displaying here, and I might share them. I don't know. You guys tell me if you want them later or not, but yeah, well, there's a lot that will go on this stream, and I would like to start with, well, by telling you that this stream is going to have basically 3 parts. First part, which is going to be well, it's going to start in a minute. We're going to do all the analysis about the flight. We're going to analyze the scenery, the aerodrome, what approach procedures we will be executing, the fueling, all that stuff that will be very much important on this little flight from Islamabad to Skardu, flight Pakistan 541. And then, well, it's going to be the practical part, so we're going to be doing the flight itself. And finally, the third part, which is going to be the most relaxed one, we're going to be flying back from Skardu to Islamabad, and that's going to be a lot more relaxed. Although, if you probably have noticed, looks like we have some, well, not very good visibility here in Islamabad, but that's okay. They have ILS, we have an Airbus, everything is good. So, yeah. Let's start. So part 1, guys, part 1 is going to be planning, which is gathering all the information we can get, all the stuff that's important for our flight, fuel, charts, everything. And yeah, so I'm going to turn on my screen so you guys can see. We're going to start with SimBrief, very, very basically, because, well, it's what we have the best. I think it's one of the best tools we have in the flight sim world right here. So first of all, SimBrief. But before SimBrief, even earlier, I want to come into the Skardu charts because, well, there is no charts from Skardu. What I have here, this is the real world AIP Pakistan. This is available on the internet, and this is the information that's available for the pilots to know what's in the airfield, what services do they have, what's the operating hours, all that stuff. It's basically in this document, and on those airports, well, where they decide to do some extra charts, they put the charts here too. But on this case, we only have the text data, which you might think, well, I'm not going to read all of this, and yes, we will not read all of it, but we have to gather a couple of important things that we have to consider for this flight. First of all, types of traffic per minute into Skardu is just VFR, so there is no IFR procedures in Skardu, and this also implies that there must be VFR conditions to come into Skardu. So this is really important. Regardless the airplane is going to be flying, this airport accepts only VFR traffic. And that's very important. So here you see a couple of services. Then one more important thing here, handling services and facilities. Well, we have none, but more important than that is the fueling facilities or capacity or the fuel, which, as you can see, there are none as well. So we need to consider tankering. Do you guys know what tankering is? That basically means bringing enough fuel with us to make the return flight. Oh, and by the way, chat, sorry, ShayTP, welcome to the stream. I hope you are fine. And yeah, finally, we're doing this flight. Absolutely. Tiago Vieira, why don't you fly on Microsoft Flight Simulator? Well, because I have it. It never worked for me. I hate the physics, and the simulator is just clumsy, and I don't like it. So it's personal preference. Everybody does what everyone likes. I don't like Microsoft. I think it's an overhyped flight simulator that's really just not as good as they advertise it. So that's my 2 cents. I like a lot more X-Plane 12, and we're going to be keeping X-Plane here on the channel. All right, let's continue. So 2 important things. First of all, VFR. Next, no fuel in Skardu. So we have to consider tankering. And the next question comes, all right, so we need to carry fuel with us to make the flight back into Islamabad, but how much fuel do we need to carry? Because we don't want to carry too little, because that would mean we might not complete legally the flight back into Islamabad, so the return flight, or we could carry an excess of fuel, which would increase, well, the fuel burn itself, because fuel also weights, and if you carry more fuel, you're going to burn more fuel as well. So we really need to pay attention to all of those things. Next, we could check here a couple of taxiways that they have here. One thing that's very unfortunate is that I couldn't find any aerodrome charts, so I don't know what's the runway markings and all that stuff. I mean, I know it's written here, but there is no chart like a normal chart. I didn't find any. So we're gonna go without it. I made one myself. Let's see how it goes. Next, coming there from all of this stuff, taxiway, centerline, etc., we have the runways itself. Here, so we have runway 3214, right? We have an NDB there, control tower. So basically all the obstacles, all the stuff, it's all written here. We're not gonna just read all of this stuff. But important stuff here as well. True bearing for the runways. Now remember that we fly magnetic headings, and here we have true bearings, so this will be probably would need to check what's the magnetic variation to know the exact heading of the runway, but that's good enough. We can see here the length of the runway, 3,657 meters, which is pretty long, so no problem there. We have a slight slope, but it's very, very minimal. And a threshold elevation, which is 7,300 on one side, and we're going to be landing on runway 14. That's going to be 7,255. Now, one thing I've checked though with X-Plane, I'm not sure if that's a problem with X-Plane or not, but when I set to the QNH that it asks me to set there in Skardu, the altitude's reading off my altimeter is 7,600, which is 300 feet of difference. So yeah, I hope we're not gonna get any problems due to that. So yeah, basically we have one runway there, and that's what matters. Landing distance available, takeoff distance available, accelerator stop distance available, slightly higher than that. All right, what do we have here? Important stuff. So the airspace from Skardu comes from surface to 2,000 feet, about that. So we would be coordinating with Islamabad or whatever air traffic control we would have there, and finally switching off to Skardu Airport. Tower is in English. Transition altitude 9,500 feet. MSL. Our transition level is going to be a lot higher than this though, due to the mountains. But if we're going to be going around or something like that, and we need to get off Skardu, we're going to be using the transition altitude, which is 9,500. Then we have all the frequencies here, and basically that's it. So that's the basic gathering of information. It's VFR, we have no fuel, and we have a pretty long runway there. Another thing that might be actually important to remember is that the width of the runway is only 30 meters, which is not as wide as usually it is on the big airports. So we need to remember to flare, otherwise we will botch the landing like we did in Florence. So yeah, all right, that's the first part. Now let's come into SimBrief. I have here the charts open for Islamabad. And now we're going to be doing the fuel planning right here. So let's start here. Pakistan 541 from Islamabad to Skardu. That's all right. I'm going to hit calculate and compare. So it will give me some fuel values to start with. And we're going to take a look here and analyze. So remember, guys, we need to tanker fuel, right? We need to understand how much fuel do we need to tanker. And to start with, we can see here that our block fuel out of Islamabad is 5,829 kilos. So this is the fuel we would require legally to do this flight from Islamabad to Skardu. But this is not enough fuel for the flight back, because if I come here and I switch this one, and now I hit calculate and compare, it should show me now both of the plans. So our current, which is well, sorry, let me redo this. So we had 5,800 kilos of block. Let me just hit calculate and compare. And for the return flight from Skardu to Islamabad, we need 5.2 tons. So there would be absolutely no way we would be departing with 5.8 and landing with 5.2. So how do we see this now? I'm going to come here. I'm going to generate this flight on purpose. And I'm going to open the PDF here. Now I'm going to go back, edit this flight, and make the normal flight from Islamabad to Skardu. Here we go. And I'm going to leave it like this. So let's come here. This is the flight plan that we would be taking from Skardu to Islamabad. So this is the return flight. And what we want to see here is the fuel figures. So it assumes we're going to burn 150 kilos on the taxi and startup. The trip's going to take us 2,047, and our contingency will take us 627. Now, I don't understand though, why is it 15 minutes? Maybe it's taking 5%? No, I don't think so. I don't know why contingency is 15 minutes. It should be either 5 or 5% in this case. But that's all right. That's all right. At this moment, what we want really is, if you compare, let me generate this flight too. If you compare both flights, you're going to see that our fuel burn on the trip is about the same. Here on the trip, we have 2,444 kilos, 150 on the taxi, so it assumes the same, and about the same as well for the contingency. So let's say if we land in Skardu, we would have burned the taxi, the trip, and the contingency is basically for any extra stuff that might happen unexpectedly on the route. Let's say we need to vector ourselves around some weather or something. We would be using the contingency fuel for that purpose. So let's say we're going to burn all of this. We will burn, let me take my calculator on my phone really quick. So 2,044 plus 150 plus 684. So that's 2,878 kilos. Basically, this is what we burn. And we would be landing with the alternate and the final reserve fuel intact. In that case, that would be around 3,000 kilos. The minimum, as we watched, is 5.2. So we would require an extra 2.2 of fuel, right? That's about it. So we need to tanker at least 2.2 tons of fuel. Now, if we take more fuel with us as well, that extra fuel is going to give us an extra fuel burn because the airplane is heavier. We need to spend more fuel carrying that stuff. We can come here into the takeoff weight correction table right here. So, and you can see every plus 1000 to the planned block weight, it's going to add a 51 kilos of fuel expense. So let's say we add 2 tons of fuel, we will need to add 102 kilos of fuel. To simplify things, what I'm going to do, very simply, is I'm going to edit this flight. I'm going to come here to the fuel planning, and we require 2.2, right? So for safety, I'm going to add 2.7, because I never flew to Skardu. It's a different and difficult and challenging approach, and I prefer to do it slowly and safely rather than fuel efficiently and quick. So I prefer to add 500 kilos of extra, also because if you have noticed, I forgot to mention that, on the services we had no GPU, and no GPU means we're going to have to use our APU, and the APU, as you might know, also burns fuel, about 100 and something kilos per hour. Now, we're not going to be sitting there for a lot of time, but imagine if this would be a real live flight, maybe an hour, we would be there sitting on the ground. So that's at least 120, so we need already 5.3. So that's a difference of only 400 kilos of fuel already. That's pretty short. And also, because, well, this is the next part of our flight analysis, I found a very, very cool guide on the internet regarding the approach to Skardu, and I built my custom charts around it. And they write there that it is required to turn on the APU on the descent. I don't exactly know why. I'm going to assume this is, this is probably to take the bleed load into the APU. So you're going to leave the engines with the maximum power if you're going to need that. I assume it's going to be that. So we're going to use the APU even earlier than we're going to get onto ground. So I prefer to take this extra fuel. So we're going to be tankering 2.7. And that's about it. Now, altitude. Inbound altitude is going to be flight level 330. I'm going to leave it as that. And now I can generate the flight. So let's check out of Islamabad to Skardu. I'm going to hit the view PDF. And now we can see that we need to depart with a planned block of 8.5. We are expected to burn. You see there? Remember how much was the fuel burn? It was about 2040 something. It's a little bit increased, not much, but it is. And that counts, especially on longer flights. And so, let's make a quick calculation. We tankered 2.7. Our block is 5. Correction. Let's do 8.6. So we're going to burn on the taxi minus 150. Then we're going to burn on the trip minus 2.1. And let's burn the contingency for the sake of it. So we're going to be landing with 5,668 kilos of fuel, which is about 400 kilos more than our minimum block fuel for the return flight. So guys, there we go. We made our fuel calculation. I hope you guys understood that. If you have any question about what I just spoke about the last maybe 5 or 10 minutes, write it in the chat, or if you're watching this video later, just write it in the comments. Also, Tiago, fair enough. I think graphically it's amazing and the satellite streaming is as well, but physics of Explain is just a big winner. Yes, basically that's it. And I have a huge drive. I have a lot of ortho scenery, and I'm a student pilot, so I honestly prefer physics and realistic plane behavior over graphical stuff. So yeah. All right, we have our fuel, we have our operational flight plan. I'm going to pre-file the flight plan on VATSIM, even though I don't think we have any ETC. No, we don't have. But I'm going to plan the flight plan anyways. And now we need to actually analyze the route itself, because this is a very short flight. Airtime is only 46 minutes, and the things are going to happen very quick. So we really won't have too much time to talk about that into the cruise. So departure out of Islamabad is going to be pretty simple. We are sitting right here into the northern gates, which are the domestic gates. Right here at gate 22. Very simple taxi via Mike taxiway onto Tango, and then we're going to be departing runway 10 right. So we're going to taxi here to the right into Alpha, cross runway 10 left, and depart 10 right. Our departure is going to be very simple. It's the BOBAM 2 left departure. Now, this is the real charts again from the AIP. So this is real world stuff. I don't know though why they are so low quality, because the first ones are fine and this one for some reason is bad. We can read here the RNP BOBAM 2 left departure. After departure, runway 10 right to India Sierra 407. Thereafter, turn right direct to Isbax, then turn left direct to India Sierra 412. Cross India Sierra 412 at or above 8,000, then to BOBAM. Cross BOBAM at or above to flight level 200. Climbing to ATC assigned level, which is going to be 300. And that's about everything we have here. We have a little speed restriction there, maximum 210 knots, which is absolutely fine. And then I'm going to get on the flight itself, on the cruising part. Now, I found this guide on the internet. If you write Skardu charts, this is probably going to be the first document you're going to find yourself on the internet. So this is openly available. This is written, I think, by a real-world pilot, because the pictures are from real worlds of an Airbus A320, maybe a training flight or some stuff, and it's just really well written. I don't think this is the complete document because there are some stuff that's missing here. Maybe it's confidential stuff, I don't know, but if you read this document, you basically can come into Skardu about right. They even have some prerequisites here for the crew that's operating this this flight. So in my case, we're totally busting this. And yeah, weather, all that stuff, etc, etc. So I'm gonna go straight to the point. He even makes a route analysis here with SkyVector, which is really cool. I planned this as well. And the most important stuff is the descent part here, because he speaks here about all the altitudes, the mountain altitudes, the terrain clearance, what speeds do you have to have, flap settings, turning points, visual references, all the stuff is written here. So I'm not going to be reading through all of this because it's not my document, and I really don't want to share it like completely here because it's not fair. It speaks about different approaches as well. So I'm just showing you how much information is right here. And basically, then I'm going to skip to the charts I made for myself. See here all the pictures from the real world with the visual references, all the calculations. This is very well done. Very cool. All the missed approach points, where you have to go, where you have to climb. Fantastic. And even the go around procedure with go around photos. That's amazing. So yeah, anybody who's planning to go into Skardu, I really advise to check this document. For example, I'm not incorporating this part here, but the turn into base, it's done with a bank angle of 30 degrees and tail and the wing of the bird on the horizon. So this is going to be very important on our final turn right there. So yeah, this is very cool. All right, I'm going to close this part here. I'm going to come into my charts, what I did here, and it's very simple. So this is the overview of the big chart. I'm going to skip to the next one. I've written a couple of notes here for myself so I don't forget, and my plan is to use this with Avitab during the flight. So our descent is going to come probably close to Delta, and I'm going to be planning 2 of these points right here, which is the PPD-01. I decided to give it that name, and the Charlie Foxtrot 14, which is the final fix when you select a runway. Usually the FMS puts you a fix on a final approach, because the guy speaks about those points, and looks like they usually do it because it allows you for better terrain clearance as you descend right here. And sometimes he speaks, you might have some clouds, and probably we're going to have those clouds today. and they use this direct procedure. I called it via Indus Valley descent into this fix and finally into the Skardu NDB to break out through the clouds. So yeah, if we can't break through the clouds today, we're gonna have to go mist, return to Islamabad, or I'll just have to change the weather. But so far, this is the procedure. I'm gonna plan from Delta, Bireb, Skardu, Skardu NDB and Skardu Airport, and I'm going to insert these waypoints on the fix, not on the fix info, but via the PBD. I'm going to show you how to do that once we depart. It's probably the only part we're going to be doing on the sky. And in case there will be any clouds, we're going to probably follow this, let the autopilot follow this trajectory here to lose some altitude. Now, he advises very much to be at BREP at flight level 215. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. So I even put myself here in altitude, and our plan is to lose all that altitude into Skardu at flight level 155. Our speed right here is going to be something between the minimum that we can have, but as well not the minimum, because usually when you approach your slower speed, that's the green dot speed, and at the green dot you have the less amount of drag and the most amount of lift. It's the best lift to drag ratio speed. Which means we're going to have a really hard time slowing down and going down. So we're going to have to probably pick up some speed, maybe, I don't know, 230 or something, or maybe even just selecting flaps 1 and go like 220 to lose all the altitude right here, because this is like 20 miles to lose around 5,000 feet. So that's a lot. Once we reach here the NDB at Skardu, we either have ground contact, in which case we're going to continue the approach, or we're going to execute the missed approach, in which case we're going to turn left at heading 089, and we're going to climb to flight level 225. Once we reach flight level 175, we're going to turn right back to Skardu, and then probably return to Islamabad, or I don't know. Also, if you are asking, we have this white dotted route as well via Sugar Valley. That's how I called it, because, well, this is the Sugar Valley, this is Indus Valley. Basically, you can also execute the approach into Skardu via the Sugar Valley. It's somewhat easier as well, because, well, the only problem right here is that you have to cross this ridge. And basically, once you cross this ridge, you just have to go down by all of this valley, turn right, and you're basically, well, pointing straight to the airfield, which is not so much interesting as much as this approach here. So let's say the weather is going to be fine today for us, and we have reached Skardu NDB. We are at flight level 155, and we decide to continue with the approach. I'm going to skip to my next chart that I did today, and this is basically how it is going to be looking. So we're going to be here at Skardu. Now, if you have noticed, I have 15,500 feet written here. That's for a reason. That's to remind me to change the QNH, because it looks like the QNH in Skardu is usually pretty high. And probably if you paid enough attention, you have noticed that when you change the QNH on the altimeter of your aircraft, your altitude changes as well. And so that might be not a very big deal when the QNH change is small. Let's say the standard is 1013 and at your airport is, I don't know, maybe 1020 or something. Well, in Skardu today it was 1044. And to give you an idea, every QNH is roughly 30 feet. So if we take the difference from QNH 1044 to QNH 1013, that is going to be 31 QNH. And multiply that by 30 feet, that's 930 feet of difference. So that is very important, because especially if you increase the QNH, your altimeter altitude is going to increase as well. So all of a sudden, we're going to just gain 930 feet of altitude. So we're going to change to QNH at Skardu NDB on the way to descend here into this point that I called Papa 1. And changing the QNH will also give us a better idea of how is the gradient that we will be requiring. Another stuff that we're gonna be doing here at Skardu, we're gonna decelerate to 170 to 160 knots, and we're gonna select flaps 2. So we probably have to level off to a bit to slow down as quick as we can. Select the flaps, and then click Open Descent, and let the aircraft do its thing. Finally, at Papa 1, I forgot to write here, but basically this is Hill 1, this is Hill 2, and this is Hill 3. And we need to pass between Hill 2 and Hill 3. In the guide, it's written that a good altitude to start the turning point back to Skardu is 12,500 feet. So that's the altitude that I've written here, which is a good reference to start and have a good terrain clearance to pass between those two hills. Guys, remember, this is just incredible because the airfield elevation is 7,300. The hill near it, it's twice the elevation. All right, so it's just, I don't know, it's mind-blowing this. So we're going to continue with this. Flaps 2, 160 knots, turning back into the airfield. And continue the descent to 9,300, which is going to be our downwind altitude. So the downwind at this part here, which is basically the parallel to the runway. And we're going to turn right here at the point which I call Papa 2. Slow down to, well, activate the approach phase. Select flaps 3. And once we join the downwind, select flaps full to the landing checklist. Now we have a visual reference for the base turn right here. I closed the guide. Maybe I should have the guide. Sorry, maybe I should have left because there is actually a photo of the turn reference. And I checked it with the ortho photos. It looks about the same. So this ridge here, end of the ridge on your right side, marks the end of the downwind. So as soon as we pass this, we're going to start our left turn into the base and to the approach. And there is this green area with this village, which also helps out to get a visual reference, basically. Finally, we keep the descent to 8,300 minimum altitude, which is 1,000 above the airfield, and just visually land there. There's no radio aids apart from Skardu, which we're not going to be able to use because it's not aligned with the runway and we don't really need it. That's basically it. I didn't do any go around on this part here, but the go around is pretty simple. So in case we want to try again, what I'm going to be doing is just climbing straight ahead, and I'm going to be joining right here to Papa 1, climbing to 12,500. That's going to be good. So yeah. Tiago, am I Portuguese? No, I'm Russian, but I live in Portugal for already 22 years. So that makes me about 95% Portuguese. Cooler, hello from California. Hey man, I hope you're feeling well. Hello from somewhat sunny Portugal. And Delta Tango 297, hello, nice to see you again. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see you guys here too. So we're just doing all the analysis that we require to do to make a good flight into Skardu. There's a lot of stuff that we already covered, so I really suggest you guys later to check out from the beginning all this stuff, because especially if you really want to do this flight as well at your home, on your flight simulator with your aircraft, good planning usually gives you good flying, so, and it's a lot more fun as well. So yeah, all right. Where were we? We were speaking about the go around. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be the go around in case we need to, or actually in case we want to do the approach again. In case, well, I'm going to say we can't land there for some reason. In that case, we're going to go from. Actually, we're going to go from the runway to Papa 1, and we're going to probably circle around here in the valley, climbing as much as we can, and then diverting to Islamabad. We're going to have enough fuel because, well, we're going to be tankering, and that tanker fuel on the first flight is basically somewhat extra fuel, in case we need to divert, of course. Otherwise, we'll save as much as we can. And finally, I took this, I don't know, this OSM from OSM map from OpenStreetMaps, and basically I painted black the runway that I have here on the sim, because well, according to the pictures and satellite view, they are building a second runway which is wider and can accommodate wide bodies, but I'm not sure it is available, and the AIP information, well, there's nothing there that says that it is operational. Plus the scenery that I'm going to be using doesn't have the runway painted even. So yeah, we're going to be taking runway 14 left, whatever it will be. And that's about it from planning. One last thing that we need to remember is the fact that this is a very high elevation airfield. Its elevation is 7,300 feet, as I've already spoken. And what that implies is, you probably guys already heard this, in our aircraft we have different kinds of speeds. We usually fly indicated airspeed. That's what appears on our instruments, right? Then we have the true airspeed, which is somewhat like it's the corrected speed, because as we climb, the air becomes thinner and there is less pressure applied on the sensors, on the pitot sensors. So basically, 250 knots at sea level and 250 knots at 30,000 feet is a very, very different thing. Probably 250 knots at 30,000 feet is something like maybe 400 knots in reality. And then we have the ground speed, which basically accounts for the wind. If we have a tailwind, the ground speed is going to be higher. The headwind, ground speed is going to be lower than the true airspeed. Basically, it's like being on a treadmill. But what matters here is the fact that this is a high elevation airfield. And once we're going to be doing our approach, well, on our approach speed, let's say 140 knots, at 7,000 feet, that indicated 140 knots in true airspeed might be quite higher. In fact, I can do a quick calculation here. I think I just came from the exams, so it's like 2% per 1,000 feet. So if we're going to be doing an approach with 140 knots, doing the approach at 140 knots, that's basically flying at 160 knots. So that's 20 knots of difference. And believe me, that is going to make a difference with braking, landing distance, all the perceptions that we have from the ground, the maneuvering, because we are around very, very high terrain and we have to be maneuverable. That's actually one of the things that the guide talks about, which is be very careful with your speed, because you need to be able to maneuver inside the valley. Because if you're going to go too fast, and you guys know it, if you go too fast, your turn radius increases. And basically, you might start to turn at P1, going too fast, and you end up crashing into the mountain. So that's all the things we're going to be having in our mind, remembering all this stuff, and now applying it. So I think I finished 40 minutes of, of briefing stuff, but I don't know. I really enjoy this stuff. This is, I mean, we're sitting here in the simulator, but I think this is really, really close to what we do in the real life and what these guys do in the real life too. So I think it's fun. All right, enough talking. We did all the approach briefings. Basically, I'm going to use flaps full, auto brakes, medium, reverse, all that stuff. We spoke about the go around. We can take a look at the weights already. We're not going to be overweight at any of the at any moments. Our maximum landing weight is 62.5. We are departing at 61.6, so we are straight not overweight from the departures. That's really cool as well. And that's basically it. So enough talking, guys. Let's go into the aircraft. Let's start up. Let's get moving. Let's enjoy this flight. And let's apply everything that we spoke about. Again, if you just came now, I really suggest you to take your time and take a look at what we just planned. So now I'm going to do this really quick. Welcome to the A319. Cockpit door is actually open. Do a quick pre-flight. Spoilers retracted, flaps up, engine mode selector normal, engines off, throttles to idle, flight weather radar is off, gear is down, and here we have the wipers switched off, batteries above 25.5. So we're going to start with the batteries and external power. Now, fault scenarios. I have faults enabled. I really hope we won't get any faults right here. But yeah, basically that's the plan. Let's do the aircraft self-test. And so, flight pilot, please, if you can speak in English, I'd really appreciate that. And answering your question, is that the beta? Yes, that's the beta, latest beta that came out today, 12 point whatever, 1 point whatever, beta number 4. I updated it today. So yeah, I hope we won't get any funny stuff coming from the beta. So self-test is complete. Let's go overhead, no smoking, nav and logo. I'm gonna switch off the lights here, cruise supply, ground control, and align the IRSs here. Pack flow is gonna go on normal, fuel pumps off, test APU fire, engine fire. Good. This is all blacked out, and the maintenance panel no lights, which is good. CPR test. Good. Very nice. Let's come here, push this out. I'm gonna switch off these lights too. Dome light off. Transponder to transponding at 2000. Let's come here to the init page and also... Sorry. Jesus Christ. Aircraft status. Yeah, one thing I need to memorize as well is to check the navigation database, which is good. The engines are correct. Rest is fine. Now we can go to the init. So, Islamabad to Skardu. Hit align the IRSs. Our alternate is basically to return to Islamabad in case we need. And flight number Pakistan 541. Cooler. I'm not on beta, so I'm very excited. 12.1 once it's fully ready. Yeah, I'm very excited too. I think the updates so far are really cool. Let me use Costin X5. Level 330. Temperature is going to be minus 38, which feels like a bit warmer than it should. Let's come here to the aircraft loading. So zero fuel weight is going to be 53.2. So we're going to do that. 53.2 applied load. 31.1 on the CG. And our fueling is going to be 8.6. I'm going to do a quick defuel. 8.6 is there. So seatbelt signs on. Fuel pumps coming on. Beautiful. And let's fill the init page already as well. So 53.2 with 61, 61, Jesus, 31.1. And block fuel is going to be 8.6. Good. Extra time, 2 hours and 43. Now, departure, runway 10 right. Bobal to Lima. Activate. Now I can close this, and I need the rest of the routes. So now we go to Kangla. Next, I think we have Airways. Yes. Juliet 122, then Juliet 186. How's the performance on 12.1? Delta Tango 207. So far, so good. I think it's slightly improved, but sometimes, I don't know, it looks like they changed some of the loading parameters. I don't know, maybe like how the things load. So sometimes I get some little stutters or some very, very small FPS drops. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying it. I think they definitely improved it. So BREP. And now I need to add Sierra Delta, which is the Skardu. Which is this one, and insert. Very good. So we have 6 minutes on the IRSs. Now I'm gonna cheat on this, guys, alright? Bear with me. And for that, I'm going to start the APU already and do our checks. So let's go here to the checklist, Avitab charts, checklist. So to cockpit preparation, gear pins and covers are removed. Fuel quantity we have, let's check here, 8.6. It's balanced. Seatbelts are on. ADIRs are on. Well, they will be in a moment because I'm going to cheat. Sorry, guys. I really want to get going. They're all on nav. And bearer reference, it's not set. We should set it 1005. 1005 on the standby 2 and 1005 here. Alright, constraint mode on. Plan. Cockpit preparation checklist is complete, which is brilliant. I'm gonna come here to the performance and I'm gonna do request takeoff data. APU is starting. I'm gonna do a quick systems check. We have oil. This is looking good. This is looking good. This is looking good. We have hydraulic pressure. This is fine. This is good. Oh, it's pretty hot in the cabin. 33 degrees. Oh, damn. Let's go with the APU bleed on to cool down the cabin. Poor people right there. Oh boy. Yeah, it's cooling down. Perfect. Doors are already closed, which is good. Wheels are fine. Flight controls all good. Brilliant. All right, let's go arc. 10 miles set. Initial is going to be 8,000 to remember the constraint. Takeoff data is available. Let's see the received. Let's go with the flex. Pretty long runway. Flaps 1. Yeah, that looks good. Uplink set. And that is set. Prop page. I'm going to set Islamabad 10 right in case something goes wrong. Just for the sake of it, I am gonna plan the secondary. Just in case something goes terribly wrong in our departure, which I really hope not. No star, no via, no transition. Alright, secondary is done. Basically, if we need to return, that is gonna be it. So altimeter reading the same, that's all good. GPS primary, enable the route, performance is set, and that's it. The weight and balance is all fine. What am I missing? Cool, maybe fix it in Alpha. Yeah, I hope so. Delta Tango, I hope. I mean, I think it's definitely improved. I just don't really love the bloom effect. It is good sometimes, but there are cases when it's really not that good. Alright, a quick check through the departure briefing. We usually do the departure briefing on this channel, guys, if you guys remember. So type 319, Airbus, flight Pakistan 541, no temps are fine, weather is fine. Actually, we didn't really check the weather regarding any significant weather, and I really should do that. So why don't we do that really quick? How about that? Jet stream, that's about it. Let's see what's the cloud situation. I hope that's gonna be fine there. Can I do weather radar? Alright, weather radar looks promising. Let's see, so weather so far looks good. Anti-ice should not be required. What's the temperature outside? 25, yeah. Terrain radar will be used, absolutely, not on the departure though. Yeah, I'll leave it for the departure. Layout and taxi, we checked that stuff. Basically, oops, wrong page. So taxi via Mike, Tango, right into Alpha, cross 10 left, onto 10 right. Runway wind, let's see here. Wind is 130 at 6, so still runway 10. QNH is the same. Visibility is slightly improved. It was 5 kilometers, 5,000 meters with fumes actually. So that's interesting to see. Flex departure. Config 1+F. Speeds 140, 140, 142. Constraint, we have a 210 on the initial fix and then above 8,000 on the turn. No special considerations. Normal, abnormal briefing. In case we bust an engine, we follow initial departure procedure into his backs and then turn right to vector ourselves back to the ILS of 10 right. That's about it for the briefing. Let's go disconnect ground power. Make sure we have the brakes. Brakes are set. Whoops, sorry. We have brake pressure. So I can remove chocks, remove external power. Let's go beacon light on. Remove the jetway, call better, pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Holy crap, that's a nice better pushback in Pakistan.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, after start checklist. So, anti-ice correction. Before start. Parking brake is set, takeoff speeds and thrusts. Flex 64 and 40, 40, 42. Windows are closed, beacon is on. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Let's go guys. Let's have some fun. See if we've already burned 20 kilos of fuel. That's why I wanted to add extra. Yeah, the visibility is definitely slightly improving because once I spawned, yeah, there were no clouds at all. I think I pressed the brakes. Yep, my mistake. And now we can see some sky.
Okay. All doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Also, guys, I really love this livery. I don't know, I think it just looks phenomenal on the Airbus, and I love the black nose. I think, well, this is a fictional livery, I think. But they used this one on the A300. I'm pretty sure, and it looked phenomenal. Yeah, I forgot to switch off the light here. So far, so good. Oh yeah, of course. No views for the aviation nerds.
Inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, brakes released. Clear to push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
We are off block. Clear to start the engines, which is very, very good. I just pull a little bit. I start 1 and 2. Also, I don't know why, but I just enjoy so much watching the view from the well, terminal. I'm gonna call it the terminal with the plane pushing back. I just feel so nostalgic for me for some reason. I don't know. Just looks really cool. Right, engine start, switch to start, and let's go. Number 1. Start the chrono. Let's maybe hear some sound. Brilliant start on number 1. Let's go start number 2. I love this engine sound. Oh boy, that was lovely. That's a great start on number 2 as well.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brakes are set through disconnect. You can
Disconnecting
go
tail. Stand by.
engine mode to back to normal and APU off. Now I can arm speed brakes, flaps 1, auto brake to medium. So I need to set this to auto. And do a quick flight control check. It should be down 0.2. Let's go full up. Pull down. Neutral. Pull left. Pull right. Neutral. Rudder. Uh-oh. I'm not liking this. Why is it not going? Why is it not going fully to the left? Oh, again, come on. I'm gonna have to calibrate this. Buy cheap pedals. Have funny stuff. Ah, okay, I get. I think it's a spot of dust I have there. Let's see, will this affect my flight controls?
Tow is disconnected
No.
and bypass pin has been removed.
Beautiful.
Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Thank you very much. See you next time. After start checklist, NTI is not required. ACAM status checked. Pitch trim is down 0.2 set. Rudder trim 0. After start checklist is complete. Taxi light on. Brakes released. Let's go weather radar on. Brake check. Pedal press. Pressure 0. Let's go. Bye-bye. Clear on the right. And away we go. The barking sound is nice. Yeah, I love it too. I don't know. I really love the Airbus. I think it was probably the first airplane I flew that I remember. It's not the first memory that I remembered. The first memory is from 737 actually, from a KLM-1. I was 7 years old. And I can remember once we took off, clear left, we broke through the clouds, and I remember watching the clouds passing, well, us passing through the clouds, and then climbing above the clouds. That's like literally the only thing I remember for that flight. And I was 7 years old, and that's exactly from when I started to want to become a pilot. Pretty fun. Yeah, looks like nobody's here. All alone. Nobody. Yep, nobody. Alright, let's do cabin test. Takeoff config. And taxi checklist for the next. Now we have to go here to the left. On to Tango. Bit of braking. Whoa, I overshot. Just a bit. Yeah, clear left. Clear right. And do the text checklist next. Now all the way to the end. So, text checklist, flight controls checked, left settings, config 1+F. Always make sure to check what you're saying on the text checklist. Don't just read through and imagine. Radar and protective windshield is on and auto. Engine mode selector is on normal. And ECAM memo, no blue. Takeoff no blue, text checklist is complete. Perfect. How's the cabin temperature, by the way? 22 degrees, perfect. Very good. Add a bit of power. Although, oh, I'm gonna have to turn... Ah, no, not on this one, but on the next one. So yeah, let's speed up a bit to 30 knots. And this looks like downhill. Yep, it absolutely is. Gonna have to ride brakes there. Maintain center line. All good. Well, finally going to Skardu. God damn it. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks of checking the weather, looking at rain, thunderstorms, all that stuff. Not really good. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, well, it's already nighttime in Pakistan right now, so of course, even though we're flying with real weather, we're not flying with real time. Alright, here we are, approached runway 10 left. Gonna go straight into runway 10 right. Runway ahead. Make sure final is clear, the other side is clear too. Let's go, strobe lights on. TCAS TARA. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway. Well, 10 right is going to be confirmed next. TCAS TARA set. Pack 1 and 2 is going to be on. Lineup checklist is complete. Beautiful. Now make sure that the next final is clear too. This side is clear. We're clear for takeoff. Cabin crew seats for departure. Oh, and I'm not on Unicom. Brakes temperature look good. Let's go do a nice lineup and let's get going. Rolling takeoff. 50% stabilized. Man flag 64 SRS runway out of thrust is blue. Hit the like button. Press set airspeed live. I think I deserve at least a like button for that initial briefing. 100 knots. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Nav. Lovely. Well, Islamabad, see you in a bit. Do a little bit of hand flying. I mean, it's fairly easy at this point. Thrust climb, climb out of thrust. There's 210 speed restriction. S speed flaps 0, speed check flaps 0. Side lights off. Let's set level 330. Let's go autopilot 1. Check what's outside. Yeah, the cusp sound pack is a bit broken. By switching from the engine sound to the wing, a bit weird. And also my experience looks so nice. Delta Tango, are you speaking about the Pakistan livery? I think it's so cool, the black nose. I think, actually, on any aircraft, a black nose looks good. Oh boy, that's some fancy cloud right there. 1,000 to go to 8,000, which was the altitude restriction, so very good. Checking that everything's good. No after takeoff checklist. There's 8,000, so we complied with all the restrictions. Wow, this actually looks pretty cool. Whoa, this looks really cool. I mean, apart from this weird effect, but... yeah. 9.5, let's go. QNH standards. Past 10,000 lights off. Let's do a flyby. Oh man, this looks good. I really like how it looks. Richard AAL, hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're feeling well. We just departed out of Islamabad, inbound to Skardu. We did a very extensive departure briefing, which I suggest you very much to check, because there's a lot of important information right there. Long time I have not watched your videos. Well, glad to see you back. Okay, so we have about, what? We have 40 minutes of flight to go. So I'm going to come here to the flight plan, and I'm going to program the PBD points that I spoke about in the briefing. And those points, I have them on my custom charts. It's going to be Delta at radial 103 at 24. We go into the plan mode, just make sure that I don't mess anything up. Yep, there it is, PBD 011. And the next one is gonna be referenced to the airport, so PSD 14 right. Then 327, I'm using the true bearing, that's alright, and 5 miles. That's correct. I'm gonna clear this discontinuity. I actually messed that up. Let's do it again. OPSD 14 right at 327 at 5. There we go, now it's correct. Misclicked. And I can delete this discontinuity as well. I'm gonna leave this here so that now that I will insert the runway, Select runway 14 right. No star, no via, there's nothing, no transition. Insert. We're gonna have a fix that I'm gonna show you. This fix here. Charlie Foxtrot. This way, if I leave the discontinuity, it will not get deleted. So we're gonna fly to Skardu, and from there, it's just basically a visual approach. One extra thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here to the fix info page, do again OPSD 14 rate, no radius, but actually no radial, but the radius of 3 miles. So this way I know that I have to be 1,000 feet above the airport elevation to have a 3-degree descent path. Alright, so far so good. Plane is flying fine. We're climbing nicely. Weather looks to be improving. Outside view is actually very interesting. Wow. Look at this. Looks really cool. There's a stadium right there. Wow. And we're gonna get into the mountain region very soon. So cool. Really looking good. Flight level 230. Okay, so now, can I open an extra document right here? Yes, I can. Perfect. So I'm going to leave my custom charts on the page that I need, which is this one here, so that I can read whatever I need to read. And finally this here. Not the best quality, but that's fine. So BREF, flight level 215. Let's check. It shows a different flight level here, which is definitely not possible. Let's change that. Wait, I think I did that terribly wrong. Yeah, I did that terribly wrong because this is not a Boeing. I have to go... Oh boy, how do I do it? I think it's like this. Yes, there we go. Alright, altitude constraint. There we go. Now I can insert this. And Skardu is gonna be like this. There we go. It's still showing something else. Why though? Maybe because we haven't reached cruise altitude yet. Actually, I'll leave Islamabad here. See, there's our top of descent already. Very short. Wow, look at that! Oh my god, that's beautiful! That's very cool. Is that a runway? No, that's a river. Wow. Holy crap, it looks beautiful. What? I don't know what X-Wing guys did, but it is looking very cool. And there are the clouds. I'm thinking about disabling the passenger seatbelt sign, but not so sure because of those clouds. Might get turbulent. Let's see, I will leave the seatbelt sign on. Look at these mountains. That's so beautiful. I'm enjoying the view while I can. Cooler, disable the no smoking sign. Yeah, but you know what? First, I need to do like a really crazy passenger announcement about how difficult the approach is gonna be and all that stuff, you know? So they're gonna get very stressed. And then I'll disable the no smoking sign. By the way, is it even lit? No, I don't think so. No, it's not. This is not Microsoft Flight Sim. This is not realistic. Oh. Man, the scenery is looking fantastic. Again, that's why I love the flight simulator. Because every time I thought about Pakistan, I could only imagine something like desert. And all of a sudden you have all this scenery. This is so beautiful. This is so amazing, and it's so great to learn geography from the sim. So cool. And that's really cool. Microsoft bashing. Yep, 100% expected from me. So far so good. Let me see if Volante is tracking myself. Also guys, do you hear me fine? Because I have to enable performance mode on Streamlabs, so I really don't know if you guys can hear me fine or not. Yeah, Volante is tracking, that's good. Because this is a flight I really wanted to track. Man, look at this view, this is amazing! Are you kidding? Sound is very good, thank you. So if for some reason you stop hearing me clearly, please tell me. Man, and the livery fits perfectly with the scenery. It's almost exactly the same color scheme. Amazing. This is so good. Maybe new thumbnail, maybe. Maybe new thumbnail, not so sure, but I'm taking the screenshot because this is looking so good, and I don't like the thumbnail that I have right now for the stream, so I don't know. Oh my god, this looks so good. Alright, there's flight level 330 into the clouds, but it looks about stable. Can I go speed up a bit? Didn't level off. I didn't select the vertical speed minus 900 for the soft level off. Alt cruise, perfect. Oh man, look at this. This is so cool. I think they changed the clouds as well with this new version. In one side it's better, but on the other side it's worse, especially at least to me on the sunset. It becomes very grainy, very noisy. X-Plane looks wow in your sim. Man, I'm just mind blown. I was not expecting it to be looking this good, honestly. Because I just checked that the Ortho works, and that's about it. And when I checked it first time, I was still, I mean, look at the reflection there. It was still in 12.9, so I'm very impressed. Nice jet stream pushing us along, 72 knots of tailwind, which actually is a factor that we have to consider for our descent. Yeah. Also, I really don't like those clouds right there. I hope Skardu is fine and we will be able to go there. I really hope so. Because right now it's not looking very good. One thing I need to do is this. I need to fix the shadows because I had the shadows config on the settings stuff, and I overwritten the settings. I need to redo the shadow parameter. All right, we are supposed to set something here, but I really don't know what to set. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set a decision height of 1000. Transition flight level is going to be 155. Wind, I think the wind is light, so I'll just go with 0. Temperature, I don't know. What I really want to know is the QNH, and that's something... Oh wait, can I go maybe here? ATC COM? No. ATSU, AOC menu, weather ATIS. I want this METAR. Yes, brilliant. I mean, at least I hope it works. This is the latest. Calm, cloudy. Oh no. QNH 1023. Oh boy. I really hope we're gonna be able to do this. 1023. Okay, let's try. I want to see it on the map as well. Yeah, not looking very good. Let me check in windy. I mean, it was good. It was good when I was preparing the stream. Yeah, it's gonna be sketchy. Let's see. If the clouds are gonna be too bad, I'm gonna maintain the wind. I will just up the clouds to a certain level, and that's about it. Leave the terrain on ND. Also, let me check here. Does the flight level that I've set works or not? BREB, flight level 215. Still not correct. Why though? I'm gonna have to do my own calculations. Okay, that's fine. So, BREB. Let's come here to the... Actually, let me just do one thing. Receive messages. This here, let me just print this one. Return, return, return. I want to go into the prog. Let's go BREB. 79. So we're flight level 330. We want to go, let's say, flight level 220 at BREB, or 210. Yeah, 210 at BREB. So that's a difference of 9 plus 3. It's going to be 12. 12 times 3 is going to be 36. Now we have a crazy tailwind. So 36, 46. Let's do 50. At 50 miles from BREB, we're going to start our descent. Yeah. Man, look at those mountains. We're gonna have to repeat this flight in an even better weather. Are you kidding me? It's looking so good. How high is that mountain? Because that is, I mean, we're cruising at 330, guys. Look at this. This terrain is crazy. This is wow. I'm gonna do something here. I want to delete BREB. I'll leave the PBD points like that. So we try the guide clearance method. Oh yeah, there we go. The descent is about to come. That's correct. But though I don't know why the altitude constraint. Am I doing something wrong here? Why is it not taking the altitude constraint though? I don't know. Alright, anyways, to start, I'm gonna set 215. Still a bit. Can still fly. Or a bit decelerate. Nope. Let's wait. Is Skardu loaded? Yes! Okay, no clouds in the valley, so that's good. QNH. See here? Ah, this is area QNH. Alright, this makes sense. That's the 300 feet of difference. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. So, 1023 on the performance, that was correct. Perfect. BREB 56 miles, so 6 miles to go. Oh my god, it's looking so good. Look at this huge mountain. I wish it was uncovered from the clouds. This is zoom level 15, by the way, and it looks beautiful from this altitude. This is huge. This is crazy huge. There we go. Let's go vertical speed. Let's start down. Perfect. And I want to do this, and I want to do this. Tailwind is going to give us a hard time, definitely. Auto brake medium as well, armed for the landing. Minimum says 1000 DH, that is set. Let's go actually to 20 and then I'll deploy flaps 1. Alright, weather, correction, terrain radar is working. I guess the second officer is gonna have its radar on as well. Oh boy, this is sketchy. So far so good. Right now what we are doing, we're aiming for this point here, which I call PBD01, and we're flying direct to this point here to give us a better clearance between these two mountains, which are really high. As you can see, the top here is 19,000 feet. And once we reach this point, we're going to fly direct to Skardu, NDB, descending to flight level 155. That's the initial plan. And let me set the QNH 1023 on the standby. So far so good. Speed is good. I want to maintain a slightly higher speed for now, because higher speed means more drag, means more energy wasted, which is exactly what we want at this point. How's the temperature? Total temperature -12. We're getting into the clouds. I might need to add some engine anti-ice soon. Maybe. xAsia still +5. Alright. Oh my god, this is looking so amazing. Are you kidding me? I'm just mind blown. I was not expecting to have this weather. Checking the ground speed as well. I hope it decreases. Well, the wind has dropped too, so that's a good thing. And we're going on idle through this valley. Where are the towers? Friends, what towers? Do you mean like some mountain names? Because, yeah, the guide has all the mountain names that you need to know. Alright, so I see some constraint there, there, but I think it will take my attention now, so I'm going to disable that. I'll leave just the airport on. That's it. You know what towers? No, I'm not getting the joke, sorry. Alright, getting into the clouds, total air temperature -9. Alright, no anti-ice needed. And we have 20 miles to go. I really need to add some speed brakes. So far, looking good. I'm gonna maintain myself below 260. This is the Toliss A319. Absolutely love this Airbus. Alright, speed brakes up. Getting some turbulence. Will we catch something on the weather radar? No, and that's a good thing. Keep the terrain on. Actually, now it looks like I've used a bit too much energy. That's okay. Oh, I see some terrain. I see some terrain, that's good. And we haven't reached the first point, so that's even better. So this looks like some pretty high clouds. And I'm gonna keep going like this. Let's reset to... What was the altitude? It's here at Delta 155, so 15.5. Yeah, we're going nicely. Let's keep going like that. 15.5 set. Oh my god, that Skardu is right there. Oh my god, that's the perfect opening! Are you kidding me? This is amazing. Alright, I'm getting too excited. I need to focus. Oh my god, this is perfect weather. Look, there's the airport. Oh my god. Okay, focus. See here now, the other point, which was BREB, here on the charts, it's a little bit forward, so it would be like there. And we would be crossing a little bit closer to this peak here. And the guide allows you to cross right in the middle of this valley, which is really cool. I think it's the time to turn off the no smoking sign now. No. Delta Tango, sadly I have to work tomorrow. Wish you a nice landing. See you. Oh man. Well, thank you for coming by. Make sure to check out the replay, and good luck there. Have a good rest. See you. Bye bye, man. Also, where is the aha, there we go. Vertical speed is good. Let's keep the descent. Oh my god, it's looking so good. Alright, let me set actually. Let me go next page. And let me remember, what do I have to do? Skardu and DB, decelerate. Okay, at Skardu we have to slow down. I'm gonna use a bit of speed brakes. There's VLS coming in. I wonder what would happen to the pilots if every person on board would disable the airplane mode. Nothing? Well, at least I think nothing. Oh my god, it is so good. Look at this. Perfect. Right, next altitude is going to be 12.5, but first we need to slow down. So good. See here, guys, the new runway, I think it's already done, but we don't have it, so we are only going to be using the other one. Bit of speed brakes. Don't want to get into the VLS though. $1,000 to go. VFE roughly -10, flaps 1. Let's go, vertical speed is set, decel, speed brakes retracted. Let's set 165. Pull the heading. Maybe I'll add a bit of speed brakes. Let's set altitude 2,500. I have to start turn there to the left. Also QNH 1023. Alright, QNH 1023 is set, and one thing I forgot to do was to start the APU. Speed check, flaps 2. There we go. Now let's go open descent. Alright, this is the first hill, second hill, third hill. We need to go in the middle of these two. So far, I think we're doing a good job. Lap is open, starting the APU. Let's do the approach checklist. Bearer reference 1023 is set. Seatbelt signs are on. Cabin crew seats for Landing, minimum is 1000, auto brake is medium, and engine mode selector is normal. Road checklist is complete. Tiago, why did you start the APU? Sorry, I missed the explanation. Well, it was mentioned in the guide that you had to start the APU even earlier, like before coming into BREP. I forgot. Probably is due to the fact that, well, the engines use engine bleed, and that takes engine power away from the engines. So in this condition here, where we are in the middle of all of these mountains, I think probably they start the APU earlier so that the engines can develop full power if needed. Alright. Let's go 7-0. Wind is very light here. Oh, that was a little stutter. We're doing well. Approach phase is already activated. Turn. I think I can set 9.3 already. Yeah. And at 12.5 we can start the turn. So this is going very good. That guide is absolutely beautiful. Fantastic. Approaching 12.5. Let's start. I don't want to get close to that peak. Also, well, the elevation of the airfield is 7,000, so let's go ahead and do landing lights. Alright, so far so good. This is incredible. Alright, next steps. Inbound, yes. Downwind on Papa 2, go into flaps 3, gear down. Alright, we're doing a good job. And we are doing it on idle, which means we're saving a ton of fuel. Approaching 10,000, slightly high still, but that's okay, leveling at 9,300 there. Actually, we're doing a pretty good job. Alright, actually, let's now fly straight. I want to give myself a bit of turning space to this side instead of flying straight to the airport and then have very little space there to the right. 10,000 feet. Oh. Alright, then we had a couple of headings. Heading 350 when clear of terrain. Okay, not yet. Actually, never mind. First is 330. There. Really? Now? We have a failure of a screen. Okay, well that was annoying. Okay, well I'm gonna assume that. Let's go. 330. Let's go approach speed. Gear down. Spell is armed. Lights on. Flaps.
2,500.
Checked. Really, man? We had to have the failure now? I want to clear this. Oh. I'm gonna restore the cam. Sorry, guys. Alright, 330. Looks good. We are in the descent. Let's go flaps full. 350 when clear of the ridge. I'm not feeling like 330, honestly. But that's basically, you have to finish the turn right there. Alright. Minimum altitude 8,300. Landing checklist. Go around altitude. Let's set go around altitude. It's gonna be 12.5 to start with. Cabin crew advised, Eco memo. Well, it should be landing no blue, but that's alright. Landing checklist is complete. So at this point, let's go autopilot off, flight directors off, birds on, lights are all set. I'm gonna start descending. There's the village. I feel like we are a bit higher than we are supposed to be, so I'm gonna give myself a bit of space by flying forward and losing some altitude, because that circle right there, that's 3 miles where you have to be 1,000 feet above the airfield. And right now we are definitely higher than that, so we're reaching the village. That's the village from the guide. Turn on AP bleed. Oh boy, thank you. Well thought. And let's start the turn. Now remember, 30 degrees. Tail and wing on the horizon. Oh, 30 degrees, tail and wing on the horizon, just like that. Just like that. Keep going, just keep going. 30 degrees, please. Like that. Beautiful. Need to go down a bit. Feel like we're a bit high. And when I say a bit, that's a lot. Let's see, minus 1,000. Can I catch it? I'm not so sure. Ground speed 154. See? Look what I told you. We're flying 130 of 130 knots of indicated airspeed, and our ground speed is 153. And we are high. We are high. Okay, so we needed 5.2 tons of fuel. So let's go around. To be true. Let me go speed. Let me go 160 like we were. I feel like that guide missed the part that we need to descend to 8,300 on the downwind. Flaps 2. I'm gonna try again, guys. It's alright. We have enough fuel. If we land with 5,800, we still will be able to do the flight. I did a nice soft go around so we don't burn too much. Yeah, I did all by the book. So I'm happy with that. I mean, it's incredible. We are 10,000 feet above sea level, and it feels like we're flying so close to the ground. This is so funny. And yeah, according to that picture of the ridge, I definitely felt higher. Let's go 11. Probably floated everybody a bit in the back. That's okay. Set 9,300. Activate approach phase again. Information is all confirmed. But the weather is very good. Let's start the turn. Skip the turn, open descent, thrust idle. Alright, here we go, second attempt guys, we're gonna do it this time. 100%. Okay, here we go. I like this heading. I like our altitude, everything's going good. We have enough fuel. 10,000. Let's go. Final approach speed. Gear down, speed brakes on, lights coming on. And speed check, flaps 3. Now let me set 8,300.
2,500.
Set a vertical speed. Aha, this is looking better. I don't like the heading though. And flaps full landing check. Let's go around altitude. Is going to be set in a minute. Actually, I can set it and keep the vertical speed. I just need to remember. Cabin crew is advised. Eco memo. We'll be landing the blue. Now, autopilot off. Flight directors off. Bird on.
2,000.
Checked. Just keep going like this. Ah, I see. Maybe they are coming closer to the airport, and that's why it's heading 350. I get it now. And then they have a better turn radius than I have now. Makes sense. Okay. It's alright, 8,300. Let's level off. Just fly straight now. Wish me luck, guys. We're gonna do it. So next reach is the end of the turn of the downwind. Just wait a bit more. And here we go. Let's go left turn. 30 degrees. Tail and wing on the horizon. On the horizon. Arc mode. There we go. Tail and wing on the horizon. 30 degrees, looking good. Slight overshoot, that's alright. Check. Aha, I think we're looking better now.
1,000.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue. Yeah, slight overshoot, that's okay. I think I got it. I think I understood what they're doing differently. Because if I don't land now, we're gonna have to divert to Islamabad, unfortunately. So I'm gonna zigzag a little bit to lose some altitude here. We're stabilized, so that's okay.
500.
Check. I want to be a bit lower, though. There we go.
300. 200.
Yes, good.
100.
Okay, remember, not a wide runway.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Spoilers. Whoa, reverse screen. Oh, it'll break off. Manual braking. Oh boy. Alright, that approach did not go as I wanted, but that's okay. 70 knots, reverses out. That's a long runway though. Ooh, 55 minutes. And that's not the taxiway I want. I want the other one. That's in the back there. Let's turn around. Let's switch the brake fan. AP is already started. Set the chrono for engine cooldown. Speed brakes up, flaps retracted. Lights off. Ah, black and red. Nice landing, thank you. Although the approach was not as good as I wanted. And we landed with 6,000 kilos, so we're 800 above what we need for the return flight, which is very good. Yeah, brake hot definitely. On one side only. I'm afraid of looking to Valenta. I think the approach was ugly. Come on, taxi. Look at the Q&A, sure. Yeah, the altitude should be like this. So we were higher by 300 feet still. And if I've set the area, that would be even worse. Okay, so the QNH definitely played a role here on my altitude stuff. Good to know. But anyways, we made it. We didn't break the plane. I know what I need to redo on the guide. I need what I know to improve, because this was literally my first time coming here. Like, first time. And I don't know if they have stand markings here. Probably they have, but we don't have any. So I'm just gonna stop in any of these lines here, shut down the engines, and we're gonna do a very quick preparation for the return flight. Or maybe, guys, you know what? Maybe that's gonna be enough for today. Yeah, I think that's gonna be enough for today, because we spent a bit more time with the preparation plus the go around. So almost 3 minutes on the clock. That's good. Let's shut down the engines, shut down the weather radar. Actually, I'm gonna leave the fuel pumps on, so there's no need to switch them off. 1 hour and 9 minutes of block time. Let's go parking checklist, parking brake and chocks. Yes, they should have chocks. And they will have whatever. This here. Parking brake and shocks, set engines, off wing lights, off, fuel pumps on. Parking checklist is complete, because we're gonna leave the APU on, so fuel pumps are gonna keep on, even though we don't actually, no, never mind, we don't need them. Good. Alright, guys. Let's finish here. Hey, where did you go? Stairway? Okay. Totally stairway to the help. By the way, let's switch off the parking brake, because we're chucked. Will allow it to cool down the brakes. Yay, there we go. Alright. Well, guys, it was fun for the first flight. I hope you're not mad. We're not going to be doing the flight back to Islamabad as I planned, because we burned a bit of time. But I think for the first time coming here was pretty good. Considering all the stuff, and explain QNH funny stuff as well. This is our track. Actually, I'm going to show you on Volanta how did we do, and we can take a look at the replay maybe if it doesn't crash. First person to arrive, and now I need to show you like this. Yeah, there we go. So here's the flight, here's the descent. Looked good. Landing -18. Wow. So it was a butter. Oh, why did it go away? Really good first turn. Right here, nice and wide. See, I think what I did wrong here, and that's why the guide had those headings. I think they come closer to the airport, and then they fly like this to here, which allows them to open more, something like a VOR approach, and that's why they have all this radius to turn and come into the runway, because if I come here I have a very short turn radius, and if I open a little bit here, go maybe even over to the airport, and then I do this, I'll have a lot more space for the turn, and more importantly, to lose altitude. So yeah, this is definitely a good training run. And then we did the first approach, which was okay, but then we went around because we were high. Then we did the second attempt, which was somewhat funny, but it was good. it was good nonetheless. All right, who wants to see the replay? I'm going to try to set up the replay, and yay, the replay is working. And after that, I'm going to end. We're going to definitely be coming back once again here, somewhere in the future, with an improved landing technique, or actually an improved approach technique, should I say. Here's the runway. Let's hit play. There's the 319, and then I'm gonna leave you guys with the wing view, with the entire approach, and I'll have to go. Oh, that was really good. That was really good. Let me see that again. Yeah, that was good. Alright, that was great. Guys, I'm gonna leave you with the replay all the way from up there. So it's gonna start from... This is the go around. This is the first... Yeah, there we go. This is us arriving into Skardu. So, about here. I'm gonna leave you with the replay from here. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this this initial crew briefing, which was a little bit extensive, but I think it's worth. And it's, I don't know, for me at least, it becomes just so much better to fly, having all this information, knowing all of this stuff. Yeah, the approach, well, we already did a little debrief with you. First time, literally my first time coming in here, and I think it was pretty good. So now that I understood my mistakes and I understood better the approach, this is definitely an opportunity to come here again in the future and do a better approach and a nicer flight, and as well a return flight again, because, well, I promised you here a return flight and ended up not doing it, but I hope you guys understand. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for tuning in. See you on Sunday. We're going to be taking an A350 of Japan Airlines from Tokyo to Osaka and finally to Fukuoka, I think that's how it is called, the place. And yeah, it's going to be very cool. A350 power. Guys, thank you very much. See you next... see you in 2 days, actually. Bye-bye.